This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by DistroKid. Get your music online and out to the world. Hey everybody, it's Friday. It is time for another episode of SMG Viewers Comments. We are at episode 138. Hope everyone's going to have an amazing weekend. Let's get right to it.
I like the workflow with DI tracks recorded by the band before coming to the studio. If a band can afford 2 days, they'll have 2 days in the studio, but they'll have the same more songs recorded in the same amount of time.
I'm fine with the band doing DI tracks as long as they do them correctly. I've definitely had more than one occasion where a band has recorded DI guitars and there's either strings ringing or the DI tracks just aren't up to snuff. They're not very good. You plug them into a real amp and it just sounds like crap. And you plug in a real guitar and it sounds a million times better. So yes, DI tracks can work, but there are many ways for the band to screw up the tracks. Just because you can free up more time in the studio doesn't necessarily mean things are going to sound better. So bear that in mind. Do your homework when it comes to recording your DI tracks.
Question for Q&A perhaps. Hi Glenn, was wondering how you as a sound engineer deal with listening fatigue. P.S. Fuck you.
Simple. I usually take a nap. I'll work, 8, 9 a.m. till like 3, 4 in the afternoon and go crash out for an hour and then get back up and do another, 5 or 6 hours in the studio. So yeah, I have a little bit of a siesta and it seems to work out quite well. I always find, if I'm having ear fatigue or I'm just take a break, it works. There's nothing better than changing your stimuli for an hour or two, or lack thereof. It will definitely clear your head.
Hey Glenn, on an unrelated note, I used your videos to convince my mate to sell his Spider 3 120 and buy a Joyo Zombie and a Harley Benton 2x12V. I wanted to thank you from saving me from the insane setting on that piece of shit.
Well, Jack Williamson, you are very welcome, and I highly recommend if somebody in your band is playing a Spider to sell it, and yes, get the Joyo Zombie and get the Harley Benton 2x12. I'm going to put links for those in the description below. They are awesome, and I'm going to have those on the show very soon as well. Toman is sending me a Harley Benton 2x12, and I'm definitely going to check it out. We're going to mic it up, and it's going to be awesome. I know the 1x12 is great. I'm sure the 2x12 is equally cool. Can't wait for that. Want to give a big shout out to my good friend Mion at Toman for hooking me up there. Thank you so much, man. Everybody at Toman, you guys are amazing.
Hey Glenn, I'm looking to record my band's rehearsal and also record riffs and ideas at home. I don't own a computer. Is it possible to get a semi-decent recordings onto my phone? I've been looking at 3.5mm microphones on Amazon. Do these things do an okay job? Are there any good smartphone recording options? Bass player.
Hey Jerry, I'm going to be taking a look at a couple of mics from Shure, possibly. A couple of little clip-on mics that might do the trick. I think they've got a preamp as well that you can plug like a normal mic into and record that way. You're basically at that stage of the game, you're going to get what you pay for. So if you don't have a computer, that kind of bites. It might work on a phone, might not. I definitely want to check that out. It definitely warrants some further investigation. I do know Shure makes some pretty awesome stuff, but dude, it's 2017. Why don't you have a computer?
Hi Glenn, my producer, sound engineer, keeps saying our record, as it is, pre-produced, is categorized as classic rock and keeps leading us into a different genre, mixing it with a pop feel to it. He says it's going to sell way better. Turns out he is changing our vocal lines and exploring my vocals. They actually sound better. Still, I like how our classic rock sounded as it was. What are your thoughts on this? Much love from Portugal.
Nobody buys music anymore. It's something to give away at shows, so I don't know if you're actually going to sell anything. It's really difficult to sell something that people don't have to pay money for anymore. So I don't know how true that is. Do what you want. I mean, you're paying them. If you want to sound classic rock, tell him, we're going to sound classic rock, damn it. And if he's not going to do the job you want him to, go elsewhere. It's that simple. It's your choice. It's not like there's a shortage of studios around.
Hey Glenn, how do you feel about the metal scene today? Is it better or worse than the glam and thrash scenes in the 80s? By the way, glam versus thrash.
The great thing about metal is we've always had great guitar players. I mean, even some of the glam bands back in the day, like George Lynch from Dokken was absolutely incredible. The glam scene had a lot of really great guitar players. Warren D. Martini from Rat was amazing. But the thrash scene was awesome. And the great thing about the thrash bands was the drummers actually had to play on the records, unedited. Go put on some old Megadeth records. Go listen to Gar Samuelson doing his thing. Oh, wow. That was a huge influence in how I craft my drum sounds. Go put on Megadeth P-Cells. The drumming on that record is absolutely brilliant. I really miss that. Hey everybody, this episode is sponsored by DistroKid, my absolute favorite service to put music out to online retailers like iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Spotify, plus 150 smaller online music retailers as well. It only costs $20 a year and you keep 100% of your earnings. DistroKid also has lots of cool features, including instant verification on Spotify and change your image on Apple Music and iTunes. What's more is that they've got a new feature that lets you add credits and liner notes to stores and streaming services. You can now list musicians, contact info, social media profiles, and hundreds of other roles. They've also got the Teams function, which allows you to split your earnings automatically among your bandmates, and a cover song license only costs $12 a year. I use DistroKid to put my music out to the world, and it saves me so much hassle. If you've got a band, you really need to check it out. Go to distrokid.com/VIP/Spectre today, and you can grab yourself a 7% discount. I'll put the link in the description below. Now back to the show.
Hi Glenn, have you seen the video where well-known record producer Sylvia Massey literally cups a mic to help hi-hat bleed onto the snare mic? Was curious to see what your opinion was on that and if you ever tried anything to that effect. Thanks.
I haven't seen that particular video, but I am familiar with the technique. I was at Cameron Webb's studio, who did the last few Motorhead records, and he had like a little apparatus around the snare mic as well. And I asked him about it. He says, well, it might knock it down slightly, but not very much. The thing is, you can do far more effective things with software these days than you can with any kind of physical mumbo jumbo when it comes to isolating a snare mic. Again, Drumatom will let you sample the bleed and edit it right out, or FabFilter Pro MB is a great way of doing a multi-band gate. Simply spectacular tools. And again, watch my reviews on those things and you can check it out, especially my Drumatom one. And in my opinion, they're a much more interesting way of dealing with bleed.
Gets demonetized for saying fuck, gets top 10 trending for posting a video laughing at a dead body. Wait, is this comment going to be demonetized? Is that how YouTube works?
Well, yeah, he did wind up getting demonetized altogether. I think you're referencing Logan Paul there. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I've really had to watch my language as of late. Here's the thing, I don't swear that much, but I think YouTube, when it does automatic translation for closed captions, it looks for quote-unquote dirty words and goes ahead and demonetizes the video, and then I have to start an appeal process. In the meantime, I lose income. So I am very sparing with my fucks as of late, and that really sucks, and we should really write a song about that. And we just might do that because TJ's kind of grunting off to the side there, so that'd be a good song. We should do that. Anyway, thank you YouTube for supporting free speech. You guys rock.
Can this thing be hooked up via the headphone out to an audio interface?
Yes, it could. I suppose you could do it. You're going to need to run a cabinet impulse on it or something, or it's going to sound like crap. But yes, it's totally possible. Try it out, see what you do. Just be sparing with your volume.
Hey Glenn, my band played a gig a while back where the sound guy was aloof and didn't seem to care at all about the sound of our set, to the point he was even eating pad thai watching Animal Planet in the booth and disappeared during our set, so we were just sort of stuck with his initial mix. How do you suggest a struggling band deal with a sound guy who doesn't seem to give a fuck at all?
You left out a very important piece of information. Were you paying the sound guy? No? Then you don't have much to complain about. If you want a sound guy who's going to sit there and baby your mix all the way through, I don't know, maybe throw him a 20. Maybe he'll do his job a little better. Take care of your sound guy. He works hard for the money, so you'd better treat him right. What's the best way to practice electric guitar? The best way to practice electric guitar is to pick it up and play it. A lot.
Hey! I'm not a metalhead, but I'm into music production. Do you have any tips on how to mix two separate bass guitars in a track like what you did with The Eagle Has Landed, when the two basses cancel each other out? Do you place them on the center, left, right? Thanks so much, and fuck you, Glenn from Greece.
Funny thing about that was my friend's band Extinction Level event. I thought they were great because they were three bass players, not two bass players. And actually, they were just playing along in the video. I actually played the bass on that song, so there you go. I was the role number 2 in that one. But I'm not sure how those guys did it, because I'm sure they had 3 different basses occupying different parts of their spectrum. Check them out, Extinction Level event, very cool stuff.
You know what's worse than bass players drinking before a show? Is bass players that shoot up junk before the show. I had a bass player that would do that before a show. It's even more frustrating, and even more when you're trying to record Jesus butt fucking Christ. It's fucking annoying. And so annoying, in fact, that a few times during the show he would forget to turn on his bass amp. Thank God I'm not the only one who has to deal with shit bass players.
Why in the hell are you tolerating that for even a microsecond? The minute you see something like that going down is the minute you throw that guy out of the band on his ass.
Hi Glenn, have you ever been to Russia? And if yes, would you attend any concert as an engineer or just a random guy? And how was it? By the way, thanks for your videos and fuck you, Glenn.
Haven't been to Russia yet. It's definitely on my wish list of places to go because I think it'd be really cool to check it out. But if I go to a show there, yes, I would definitely be going as just one of the random fans because, believe me, I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular guy like everybody else.
What are your thoughts about riding the fader and using large amounts of compression to make lead vocals compatible with a metal mix? I've gotten into serious disagreements with singers about this. They expect that every little whisper should be heard off the top of a raging metal band. Without fail, those vocal parts are completely lost on stage. Is this kind of processing any different from auto-tune and quantizing?
Oh, auto-tune is definitely taking the performance and doing something completely different with it. And yeah, if a singer can't sing, he can't sing. A mic can pick up a lot of different things. Yeah, compression's a good thing. It's working with a compressor is kind of a necessity. But whisper parts over raging metal, maybe the singer might want to rethink that and work with the dynamics of the song. Might be a better approach. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell and keep up with everything going on Spectre Sound Studios. Once again, thank you for your support. Have an amazing weekend. And don't forget to check out DistroKid. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, Hasadigi boy.